Put it on me. Hey, I think I'm live now. How's everyone doing on today? On this wonderful day. So today is actually my half birthday, and I'm celebrating it this year because I don't know. One of my favorite things lately is to find things to celebrate, and if I can't find anything, I create something. And so I don't think I said anything over here, but it was Christmas in my world for a few days, and I got this like super small Christmas hat that I'm surprised is like on my head. Um, it's not that my head is extremely abnormally large, but it was like some scents a few days after Halloween after Christmas. I keep mixing up Halloween and Christmas because the other day I was like, "Merry Christmas to all and to all a good fright." I was like, "Wait, hold up, that's supposed to be night." But I'm just gonna come on and see what energies are swirling around. I'm gonna separate these out, do a major minor chord. I guess I'm gonna put them all up right. I wasn't. Maybe I won't. I will, because then it'll make things confusing. And this time, speaking of spiders, I had a spider on my back. I went in the kitchen after I put some of my groceries back here. I got some Canada Dry ginger ale. I'm a huge fan of ginger ale right now because it's a carbonated beverage that I can drink that doesn't upset my stomach. 7-Up doesn't even sit right. It does make me really, really burpy though. So if I burp, I'm apologizing in advance and doing all the excuses. But yeah, there's a spider on my back. So today I'm going to be putting the aces with the minors because I am not doing that whole two thing again. It made it take way too long. And we will be. Wow! The Ace of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Wands were all together. Now that's interesting. Um, So yeah, my half birthday is today. I had like 2 days of Christmas a few days ago, which means that in another few days it'll be the new year, which is interesting in my world. I wonder what that'll mean. And all those majors. I just feel like it's time to do a lot of stuff in my life. And I was talking to Six of Cups and the Six of Swords and the Lovers. Look at that. 666. Oh my. All came out together. Six of Cups, Six of Swords, and the Lovers. Um, I was talking to one of my friends the other day. We haven't talked in a minute. She was like, "Hey, sorry, I never replied over the summer." I was like, "Girl, the world was what the world was. The Sun and the Father of Wands are together." I was like, "I don't take it personally. I knew you was kind of sort of already going through something. I could tell, and so I'll let you have that moment." But in talking to her, I realized another sort of thing that I'm healing right now, or healing and learning right now. Six of Wands and the Two of Cups with the Sun of Cups and the Eight of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Pentacles right there behind the Wheel of Fortune. Now, all of these are in reverse, but we're about to put them up right, so that doesn't completely negate everything, right? Like, that was still an amazing run of cards, right? Four of Pentacles was up right after it, though. But yeah, I realized that I'm kind of I'm working through my last major blockage right now. Or not major blockage, more like, well, yeah, major limitation. It was a major fear of really sort of, going out into the world because I have a seemingly genetic condition. It's supposed to be genetic, but ain't nobody really got it besides maybe my grandmother on my father's side. But I'm like, if this is like genetic, you would think that there's like, you know, more of a history question mark. It'd be more prevalent. Um, um, and so it affects a lot of things in my life. If y'all haven't seen me try to read something with it like literally right in front of my face, it's related to my eyes. And so I thought myself as limited, and I thought my life as limited for a long time, and I hated it, and I didn't allow myself to do a lot. And I reached the point, October 2018, of my darkest night, decided that I had to get over it, more or less. And that's what I've been doing. The Sun and the Daughter of Pentacles together. The children of the earth. Hold up. Okay. Yeah, like wait. I'm like, wait, why is this Five of Pentacles sitting with the court cards? Hello? That Five of Pentacles just chilling like it belonged there. No. Well, look, I moved the five, and then here's the six. Hey, maybe that's why it was just sitting there. Ooh, two fathers. The Father of Cups and the Father of Swords are together, and then the Mother of Wands is coming out right after that. So I don't know what that's about. But so what I'm going to be doing is, oh my goodness. What I'm going to be doing is the same like I did last time. So the pages will represent the whole element. The sons will be mutable. The mothers will be cardinal, and the fathers will be fixed. And then based on the element is the zodiac sign, and we'll just see what the energies are around like now into September. Right? Just like what the energies are, right? Like just because something is the energy doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna like come in. Doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna let it in. You know what I mean? Like you could decide that you ain't trying to F with some kind of energy, or that energy might decide that it don't matter what you want. We coming in. Um, but yeah, I've been talking about a lot, losing my train of thought as usual, as per usual. But I've been really in the mood of like finding things to be excited about and creating them when I don't have one, because it's fun. It's like I was like, today is gonna be Christmas in my world because why not? And it was, and I got a gift for myself, and it came in the mail that day. It could have come the next day or even later, but it came that day. And I wasn't checking the status of it for a long time. I was like, you know what? It'll show up when it shows up. Like, I'm not gonna like be obsessed, not obsessed, but you know, I'm just gonna wait until it shows up. But that day, I was like, you know what? Like, let me just see. And then it was like shipping out or delivering today. I was like, oh snap! So I had my little happy dance while I was already like back here moving to some Christmas music. Shout out to Ace of Pennies. Hey, shout out to the Ace of Pentacles. But shout out to Ariana for making my Christmas lit. Also, Kylie Minogue popped out. And the Jonas Brothers, like after the Jonas Brothers was a palate cleanser after Ariana Grande, because you know, Ariana really turned up the heat. And then I had to replay the song like 15 times. And then today's my half birthday. So, you know, that. And I realized that when I was talking to my friend yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, tomorrow's my half birthday. I'm going to celebrate that. I can't remember how I realized it or recognized it, but I did. I did. And I was like, okay, I'm going to celebrate. So, let me grab my phone so I can get these timestamps ready. Excuse me. And we're going to run through and just see again what the energies are around. Here we go. I was like, where's my timestamp thing? I need to change my thing over here, but I can do it later. Bear with me, everyone. I definitely could have did this before, but I didn't, so it is what it is, you know? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, Scorpio. Because one day I forgot Scorpios. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yep, that's all of them and in order. So let's get into this. Let's see. We're going to be starting with Libra. Hey, interesting. Starting with Libra for September. I love that energy. Actually, I think we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna be a little bit more user friendly today. We'll do it facing y'all's guys, if y'all can even see these, and we'll see what's up. But yeah, like I was saying though, really quick. Sorry, Libra. I ain't timestamping yet, so I ain't that sorry. Um, it's just time to wrap up the last few chapters or pages of that sort of line of blockages. And after a conversation I had yesterday, it was just like, it's just really time. So there's no real like anxiety or worry right now. It's just like, you know what, it's time, right? It's time. And that's comforting. I don't know why, but it is. And I got all this space over here today for like no reason. You know what? I'm gonna grab my little selenite ball just to take up some of this space. See, I ain't trying to put it too far back though. There we go. See? Alright. Where did I just put my phone? LinkedIn. I need to get on that. So, Libra, let's see what we're dealing with. The Hierophant. Wow. So, Libra and the Ten of Wands. Oof. Sorry. Sorry. See, I ain't even timestamped it yet. Okay. We're going to do this again. We're going to hope that Libra doesn't watch, okay? And we'll timestamp it now. We'll calm down. And then we'll get into it. 13:25. All right, Libra. So we're looking at roughly like now September-ish, and just to see what the energies are around us. Now, when y'all came out with the Hierophant, I was like, that's Taurian energy. Oh, snap. Like Libra, now y'all's got the feminine side of Venus. So it's Libra hogging all the Venusian energy, but then the Ten of Wands came out. And I was like, ooh. So Libra, it's coming up on y'all season. And y'all might be taking a real good look at your life right now. Taking a real good look at the things that it's like the Hierophant is sort of it's kind of like chosen commitments, things that we've dedicated ourselves to. Now, in the space of like institutionalism and like systems at large, then those could be things that we kind of sort of have a little bit less of a say in. But I mean, it just seemed like coming up on y'all's birthday season, y'all's just like, what's really working? Like, what's gonna come into another year of my life, right? Like, is this working? Like, really working? Is this something that I want to continue to put up with? And I do love this Ten of Wands because there is a light in the dark. So it probably isn't all bad, but that sort of, it may be tested right now. And so, let's see. We're going to also do this. Hold up, let's see if I can find him. not well. Oh yeah. No, we're not gonna do it. I was gonna. It doesn't hurt. Yeah, it will. We're not gonna do it. I was gonna pull the universe has your back cards and like as an extra little whatever. But I would say there's nothing wrong with being a little critical right now, and that may actually be the key to moving forward. There may be a time of reevaluating and reprioritizing certain things. Also, it can be a time to tap a little bit more into your feminine side and to be a little softer, right? Because both. Oh, snap! Clorinda M101! Clorinda, I was literally just thinking about you. Like, maybe an hour ago. I was like, it's winter in Australia right now. How you doing, Clorinda? I hope you're well. So, yeah, Libra, it's like. Because I feel like Libra is the sort of more go-gettery side of Venus, while Taurus is more of the, like, come to me side of Venus. So maybe like y'all are doing a lot right now, and if you slow down a little bit, it'll give the things that you want the opportunity to catch up to you, right? Maybe the universe got a birthday gift for y'all sort of like queued up. But when you're too busy, it's like you're not free enough to receive it. So potentially, I would say if you've been overworked, Libra, or if you've been doing a lot, Libra, maybe take a break, right? Yeah, it's not too hot, thankfully. I mean, when you get in the car, it's like really, really, really warm. But besides that, I've been staying cool, which is interesting because like end of spring or in the springtime, I felt like I was a lot warmer than I am now. But hey, I'm not gonna complain about that. So that's what I got. Libra. Next is Taurus. Wow, look at that. Come through, Venus. Yes. Venus said, I ain't come to play. In fact, I've come to slay. I'm just playing. Nice weather. Spring is in the air. 21. Ooh, is that typical? All right, Taurus. Let's see. 17:43. All right, Taurus, this is what's going on for y'all in the now to September area of space time. So today we're just running through the zodiacs, Clorinda, seeing what's up real quick. I got the major, the minor, and the court. So the court card will determine the sign, and then the major and the minor will kind of sort of see. Right, excuse me. So Taurus, we just read Libra, which is like y'all's masculine side in some way, planetarily. Ooh, the chariot. Oh, snap. Now, I've been feeling this energy, and I got a Taurus moon and rising, so, you know, that it says something. I feel like a moon and rising is almost like a second sun, because the moon is the, like, the more introverted side of you, the more emotional. What was I going to say? A masculine? The more emotional side, like the underbelly, almost, under the water, right? But then when you have your rising there, it's like, well, you can kind of sort of see the moon. So it's not really like hidden that well. Now, when people clock me for being stubborn, I don't like it. And then when I found out that my moon was my moon and rising were the same, I was like, I really don't like that. Because I'm a Pisces sun, you know. I like to be elusive sometimes and a little mysterious sometimes. Normally raining and cold. Okay. Yeah, that's why I was like, 21 seems like a lot. But hey, if it's a good day, then enjoy it, right? So, oh, okay. And then the Four of Cups. So, Cancerian energy here twice in the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is the third decan of Cancer. I don't know who the decan ruler is. It could be Jupiter because the third decan of Cancer would be Piscean energy. And we got this Pisces full moon coming up. So maybe with this Pisces full moon, like kicking off September, Taurus, it's probably going to be time, or you're going to be feeling like you want to move on some stuff that you've been sitting on for a long time. Or to you, what may feel like a long time. It's like Taurian energy has like, there's a mode of movement and then there's a mode of like chilling, right? When you can't get the cow, the bull to move for nothing, can't tip it, can't like, spur it into action, it just ain't gonna move. And then there are other times when you can't get the bull to stop. And it ain't necessarily gonna be a period of nonstop action, but Taurus, for you, it might be. Um, it's almost like the feeling of like, like I said, you've had your eye on something for a minute, and stubborn with the Taurus. I mean, it ain't always gotta be stubborn. It's fixed. It's fixed, right? we claim fixed. um, I can be a little bit stubborn too, yeah. My father would think so. But that's because, he's used to kind of sort of having his way in conversation and in intellectual debate. And I'm just not the type of person to be like, oh, yeah, somebody else said this? Okay. Like, no. But anyway, it's like, I think it's like time for Taurus to move. And Taurus knows that. I think Taurus wants to move. Again, with this Four of Cups, it feels like something that you've been sitting on for a minute. The Four of Cups is typically an opportunity presented to one that we're not aware of or that we don't accept, right? And so maybe it was the case that you were in that luxury mode, right? You were in the mode of not really doing much. And now it's time you want to go after something. I mean, honestly, with this energy here, it's like the energy of Taurus is taking a lesson from Libra, and the energy of Libra is taking a lesson from Taurus. And it's like you're learning from each other right now, learning to balance the other side of your planetary ruler's energy with yours. And yeah, because like for Libra, I was like, Libra, like maybe kick it down a notch and let things come to you. And now with Taurus is like, Taurus is going after it. So I love this energy. I love this energy. Sometimes. Hey, but you gotta love Taurus, right? I mean, you don't have to love Taurus, but who doesn't? Let's be real. I'm just kidding. Because you might be I don't know. I don't even know who wouldn't like Taurian energy. Maybe somebody else who's like stubborn, and then, so like maybe, well, no. I would say like maybe Leo. It just depends though. Because it could be another fixed energy or a cardinal energy that like really wants somebody to do something, but then you come across a Taurus and Taurus ain't doing it, and so you may be a little personally offended if you get your way with everybody else except a Taurus. But you still gotta love them at the end of the day. So I mean, yeah. Yes, I need to be more about both of those, particularly the Pentacles right now, because it's time. Next up is, oh wow, Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. Capricorn, this is gonna be interesting. Your ruling planet is in your sign right now. It was in Aquarius, but it's back in Capricorn. And I did look at a little bit of the transits after Saturn and Jupiter and Pluto go direct, and like Jupiter is gonna fly. So with Jupiter, it's almost like Jupiter is kind of sort of biting the bullet right now in Capricorn because it doesn't like to be in Capricorns. So Jupiter brings expansion and opportunity. So you might want to capitalize on that. Or when it goes direct, like mid-September, maybe. It was somewhere in the tens, I believe. Y'all can look it up. Then it may be time to like capitalize on that. So when Jupiter goes direct, some opportunity could be coming into your life before it heads into Aquarius, where it will kind of sort of benefit everybody. That's you. 24:32. All right, Capricorn, we're officially into it. This is your energy for now and like September or whatever this resonates. Let's see. We're going to do a double reveal. Judgment and the Four of Wands. Wow, Capricorn, this is interesting. So cardinal signs, y'all might be dealing with folks. Apparently, because Libra kind of sort of had a partnership energy too. Or it was just the things that Libra is committed to. Right? Now, This is a very interesting energy for Capricorn because I feel like Capricorn is more or less judging on off of the stereotypes. Okay, so I'm gonna be that girl, Capricorn. I'm sorry. Judging off of the based off of the stereotypes, I feel like Capricorn is always in this energy of judgment in the Four of Wands because it's like I feel like time, anything that can equate to money is a precious resource for Capricornian energy. That could be time, that could be energy, that can be effort. Because it's like if something isn't going to pay off or pan out, then that's time and energy that you can be putting towards something that actually will matter in 10 years. Um, I feel like Capricorn, I mean, it's cardinal Earth, right? So building things that are meant to last, right? I wouldn't necessarily go to an Aries for something that I want to still be standing in like 10 to 15 to 25 years, right? Because it's like Aries is like, oh yeah, this is fun, like this is cool, and like a few days later, a few weeks later, a year later, 2, 3 years later, Aries is over it. But that's when Capricorn is like starting to kick into the next phase. Capricorn is that long haul energy, and with judgment here, a card of evaluation, as well as Four of Wands, that could be a card of relationships, but it could also just be a card of milestones, right? And a milestone that's kind of sort of celebrated publicly, or at least with a few people, right? So this is interesting because Saturn, like I said, Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto have all been retrograded in y'all's sign for a minute. And the whole world is kind of sort of in this space, or has the opportunity to be in this space of self evaluation and evaluating whether the life we were living before, like when it was all stopped, it's like there was just a space of evaluation for several reasons. And I feel like y'all haven't really escaped that. But also with this judgment card, it's like all of these darker things going to the light. And Pluto kind of sort of is an energy of healing through transformation. And so maybe actually in this time and in this in this time and this space and place, y'all have been um y'all have been kind of sort of just like reevaluated. And the Four of Wands, like it is a Wands energy, right? So it's related to elements of passion and drive and like the things that we again like we put that energy and effort into. And so maybe also Capricorn, there's a little bit of a desire to be celebrated right now, right? Maybe y'all have been stepping up in some way here lately, and y'all are wanting a Four of Wands moment where other people are sort of. It's not like the Six of Wands recognition necessarily, but it is still like a public or like other people are involved, right? And it's like it feels like you just want some recognition, maybe. And I don't know if you've been getting that, Capricorn, and it may have you feeling some type of way. Um, and again, I guess in this case, it would be like, well, if I'm not being appreciated, then is it worth me continuing to give my time and energy into this, or should I move on to something where it would actually be appreciated? Also, Capricorn, it may just be a time to pivot. Because a lot of things have changed right now. And y'all are cardinal, but Capricorn is still Earth, right? And a lot of external factors have changed in the world right now. And so, what provided you stability in the past, and where you found stability in the past, you may have felt like the rug was sort of pulled under your feet in that area. And so, now with this card of judgment, It's about having a little bit more of a critical eye. It's about sort of pivoting and redirecting again. And so Capricorn may actually be in a space of observing right now, or acquiring new talents or skills, again, to sort of rebuild a new foundation. And, I don't want to say we're depending on Capricornian energy to kind of sort of set the tone for the new world, but y'all are Cardinal and y'all are Earth, and the Earth has gone through a lot of change, and Virgo energy will help y'all out because they're mutable. So if you got some Virgos in your life, maybe go to them and see how they're doing. I don't know. I don't know. Yep, getting stability back. So that's what I got for y'all, Capricorn. All the best. Um, just for the energy in general. Well, I would say for the energy in general, it may be a little bit rough for a Capricorn, or for the energy of Capricorn to sort of be about establishing and building these foundations, really, and then to have the whole game kind of sort of change. But also at the same time, you could be realizing that, like, the events right now are sort of like highlighting and illuminating certain infractions. I think that's the word that I was looking for. Certain weak points, and Capricorn energy could actually like that, because it's like, well, thank you for showing me that I wasn't solid in this place or in that place. Let me go back in there and shore this up, so I'll be good. But again, it may be a period of just like adapting and figuring it out. All the best, Capricorn. Y'all got this. I love Capricornian energy, even though I feel like, I don't know how it would work in my life, because I'm not a mess, but, I like to laze sometimes. Capricorn's like, no, we got to get up and go and do something. I was like, oh, I can't handle it. I could. Ooh, next is Cancer. So we move right to the opposite of Capricorn. Goodness, these are interesting today. We go from masculine side of Venus to feminine side of Venus, to a trine in that Capricorn, now to the opposition, which is Cancer, with this Mother of Cups. 32:54. Hey Cancer, this is y'all's energy for roughly, approximately, now-ish to September 2020. Just seeing what's out there for y'all,
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Try tapping above to edit.
Girl, Siri, wasn't nobody talking to you. September 22nd is something that Siri picked up, so that may be a significant date for some Cancers out there. I think the new moon is like the 17th. 22nd, Saturn might be going direct. Let's see. Now I'm gonna check this out. This is part of y'all thing, Cancer, because y'all got a whole bunch of energy in Capricorn that has been opposing y'all, and then it went retrograde, so it backed up. May have hit you in some areas, and then you thought it was over, and then the planets retrograded, and you got hit in that same area again. But now it's all about to go direct and start moving again, right? So let's look, September 22nd, and we'll put it at noon Eastern time. Noon 30. Because why not? So let's see. The sun will be 0 degrees Libra. So hey, that's the beginning of Libra season. That's interesting. Mercury will be in Libra. Venus will be in Leo, like 18 degrees. Mars will be retrograde by then. Uranus will still be retrograde. The moon will be in Sagittarius that day. Jupiter will be direct, but Pluto and Saturn will still be retrograde. And Saturn's going to be 25 degrees Capricorn, which is where Pluto started in its retrograde. So Saturn's going to be in the place that Pluto was in when things started moving backwards. Neptune is going to be out of the 20th degree of Pisces. I mean, Neptune might be out of the 20th degree of Pisces now. Let's see. Yeah, Neptune is already like 5 minutes outside of the 20th degree of Pisces. But there you go. So Jupiter will be direct. But, you know, Saturn and Pluto will still be retrograding. So, you know, they'll go direct eventually too, though, right? The Wheel of Fortune and the Two of Pentacles. Okay, well, there's that Jupiter energy, right? And here's Capricorn, Jupiter and Capricorn. This is interesting. Cancer, y'all got a real interesting energy right now. I know last time I read for y'all, things were kind of sort of questionable. But it's just like there is an opportunity for a lucky break. But you have to put yourself in a position to receive it. Right? Because like the Wheel of Fortune energy is amazing. It's like a turn of fortune. It's a lucky break. It's being able to breathe after a period of time where it was a little hard to breathe. Right? Maybe you're asthmatic and you just got a puff of your inhaler and now it's amazing, right? You can breathe. Like, oh my gosh, I can breathe. It's amazing. But with this Two of Pentacles, it's like if your other priorities are heavy enough, it can really slow this down, right? It's like you have this wheel that starts to turn, but then it's connected to this other wheel that might start turning in the opposite direction. It's also giving me the energy of a chain on a bike, right? Because, I mean, with the chain on a bike, you know, they're typically not crisscrossed. And so maybe that's something else that y'all can kind of sort of be working on right now. It seems like there may be some things in your life that are kind of working in opposition right now. But if you could shift your perspective, or if you can untangle yourself, maybe you're caught in an entanglement. Is that where it's still hot? Are people still saying entanglement? I think it's over. But maybe you are a little just tied up in some stuff, and if you loosen the reins a little bit, because y'all are chariot energy, then things might work a little smoother, and not only work a little smoother, but they might start to work in tandem and in conjunction with each other. That will really like promote the energies to really come in and then be able to move stuff. There's something about your priorities right now, Cancer, that needs to be like rebalanced or something like that. Maybe y'all was out of work for a minute and now y'all don't want to go back to work, but you got bills to pay, so then you do want to go back to work, or you don't want to go back to work but you want your bills to be paid. I don't know, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, but it does feel like if you don't sort of look at what you are giving your energy to, then you may sort of not miss out on this opportunity, but you're not going to give it the space and the energy that it needs to really grow. So don't want that to happen, right, Cancer? So take care of it. And we're gonna move on. Next is Sagittarius. Sagittarius. We are several cards in, and no pages yet. You know, which is fine. 39:13. Hey Sagittarius, this is your now to September-ish energy. We're just gonna see what's up. It's interesting. Cancer just had the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is the Jupiterian energy. It could be Pisces or Sagittarius. And here's Sagittarius. Let's start with the minor, just to see Six of Cups. Okay, so Sagittarius, y'all may have been doing some inner child healing. Six of Cups to me lately is like inner child healing, inner child work in general. But this is interesting. Six of Cups upright is like a nostalgic energy, and Sagittarian energy is kind of supposed to be happy and fun and free. as one of the characteristics of Sagittarian energy because it's Jupiter, right? It's jovial, it's expansive, the free part, but also in high spirits. And it's almost like that's almost an energy of like getting things that you didn't get when you were a kid, or like tapping back into old hobbies or old things that you used to like enjoy, reconnecting with like old friends, just like coming into these spaces where your inner child can like smile and be happy again. Yeah, and then the Fool. Okay. Like if the Death card or the Tower card came out, I would have felt real foolish. But I mean, here's the Fool. So Sagittarius, you may be like starting all over in a certain way. I know Sagittarian energy can also be a little fixed mentally, but the South Node is in Sagittarius right now. And so it's about lightening up on these very grand philosophical and theosophical ways to live your life or things that people should abide by. And it's about expanding into something new and something lighter because, I mean, you see this tree, but you don't see as the roots, right? And not everything is rooted in something good. And even if it's rooted in something good, something could have happened to it above the surface where there's sort of like this deviation between what it was supposed to be and what it actually is. Or like the real life isn't sort of following like the theory, right? It's not following the hypothesis. And so it's like Sagittarius kind of sort of has this opportunity to either stick with it anyway, even though you know that's not where it's at, but you know, Sagittarius can also be kind of fixed. Sagittarius can also be really fixed, especially in the ways that it thinks. But, or it's like, or you could take this as an opportunity to be like, you know what? Let me just switch it up because to continue to stay here is not great. It's almost like the energy that Libra started off with the Hierophant and the Ten of Wands, where it's like your commitments are kind of sort of reaching the point where they're more burdensome than they are anything else. And commitments in your case could just be like ways of living life, things that you sort of told yourself as a kid that like this is what to do or this is what not to do because of external situations, external environment, or because of what somebody else that I trusted at the time told me. And it's an opportunity to just like tap into that like the exploring part of Sagittarian energy, right? The globe trotter, the like expansive. It's time to expand. Because the Six of Cups, that's a fixed energy and it's scorpionic. Um, but yeah, it's fixed. Like, look how deeply rooted this is. For Sagittarian energy, like, those roots run pretty deep. And so maybe I would say, like, do something new, something interesting. Do something that you've wanted to do or try for a while, but you haven't given yourself permission to because of what old you would have thought or what other people think, right? Because Sagittarius as an energy doesn't necessarily fall in line with what everyone else thinks and does, but it can when it comes to the space of like tradition, especially. And especially if there's some kind of like logic or reasoning behind that tradition, then it's like, oh yeah, this is because it's like, you know, you're exposed as a kid when you're a younger sapling, and then you just like you grow with some of these belief systems, and your like Sagittarian energy is very intelligent and like educated, but if you're raised on lies, then you know it kind of affects everything else. So Just get outside the box, Sagittarius. Overall, though, this does like Six of Cups and the Fool is like very positive, very bright energy by itself. So if you're not in a good space, maybe you have the potential to be if you let yourself just run wild a little bit. And then we go into the Father of Wands. So Leos, from Sagittarius to Leo energy. Ooh, see, Leo, I'm gonna try to keep it short because every time I end up on Leo, Leo gets like double time. And then I'm like, I promise I'm not trying to dig into Leo energy. I promise. It just happens. 45:40. All right, Leo. So this is like your in August to September, August and September, and it's just the energies around y'all, you know. So you ain't necessarily gotta engage with it. You don't even necessarily gotta know that you're engaging with it. Sometimes it just kind of sort of happens, right? But we'll see what's up. We're doing a major, a minor, and a court card. So your major is the Emperor. I don't want to say it's about time, but I do want to say it's about time, and not like a finally, but it's like there's an element of divine timing here. And the Six of Cups is still here. I haven't replaced it yet, which I love, because it's like there was some growth and there was some maturing that had to be done for the Leo to really come into their power. Maybe the sun was eclipsed for a hot minute, or a hot hour. But it's about coming into your authenticity. I feel like Leo isn't necessarily an energy that is like a follower or that will like sort of fall into the crowd. But I feel like Leo energy can get caught up in what everyone else sees it as and what everyone else comes to expect from it. And right, it's the king of the jungle. And when you're the king of the jungle, do you have time to like be shown or to be seen as weak or less alpha or like anything that isn't what people have come to expect from you? And the kind of sort of unfortunate part of that is that like for a while it's like that could be you, but you don't necessarily always give yourself the opportunity to grow and evolve, again because it's like what people have come to expect from you, right? And so like what if Leo wants to have a night in and doesn't want to go out one weekend, but Leo is the party monster and everyone's like, I want to have a good time, I want to have a good time, let's get Leo because Leo always makes it a good time. When Leo's like, even though like you haven't really been wanting to go out for a minute, you've kind of been over the party phase a little bit. But again, like since that's what you're known for, and you do like you enjoy the time with the people, so it's not like a complete loss. But again, it doesn't feel like you're giving yourself Six of Swords, a six on top of a six. It doesn't feel like you're necessarily giving yourself the opportunity to honestly, like in this deck in particular, to experience those downtimes or to just like have a moment to yourself or to be sad or to just not be everything for everybody else. With the Six of Swords, it's like it's time for Leo to be something for Leo. It's time for Leo to brighten up its own day. And then that's when the rainbow comes out and the rain stops. The Six of Swords in this deck are also sort of on the ground. And so maybe you need to pick yourself up a little bit to really come into this Emperor energy. But it's about time. Right? It's like you don't like sometimes the only way to really get over something is to just like spend too much time with it, right? Like I know it's not the same, but like I don't eat Jimmy John's anymore because there was this period of time where I worked a lot of later shifts and I would always order Jimmy John's, and I spent like $150 at Jimmy John's in like a month, and I was like, that's way too much money to be spending at any place, let alone Jimmy John's. And Jimmy John's, they gonna keep taking my money as long as I pay for it. But I put myself on Jimmy John's strike because I was upset that I spent all that money on Jimmy John's. Um, and I completely forgot where I was going with that. Leo, I'm sorry. But it's about time. It's about accumulation. It's about like sometimes we have to reach those points before we're really like is this a good decision? Is this worth me continuing to put time and energy and effort towards? Like, when am I going to have a little bit of foresight, have a little bit of like prepare or plan a little bit, and not like come out of pocket? Like, I was working enough that I didn't really hit my pocket too bad, but at the same time, it's like this is a lot of money that I've been spending on Jimmy John's. And even if it isn't hurting me, it's just like it just made me just like take a moment to be like, wow, like how am I spending my money right now? How am I spending my time? How am I spending my effort? Is that going towards something that will actually build me? I think it's also time for Leo energy to really begin to build something. I don't know. I mean, the world's kind of dark right now for a lot of people, and Leo energy is the sun. But you have to make sure you're good, because if the sun goes out, then we're all kind of screwed at this point in time in space and heavy grinders. And like Jimmy John's subs are like the smallest out of like all of the sub places that I've, and it's not that they're not good, but it's like Jimmy John's always sounds like a good idea, and then I eat it and I'm like, that's it. Like that's all the food. Because they're kind of thin, and at that time I wasn't getting a lot of like vegetables, so I wasn't getting like lettuce and peppers and onions and all this other stuff. It was like literally just meat and cheese, and I'm like, wow, that was, I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry. um but yeah, it's a sub place, Therinda. But yeah, it's time for Leo to take a moment for Leo to pick Leo up. Maybe also to pursue things that you want, and maybe don't care so much about what other people want for you or from you or what other people have come to expect of you. Because it's like you can show up for others your best when you show up for you at your best. Also, there may be a few things that you kind of sort of, I mean, it's the same energy, but there may be a few things that you sort of left to the wayside because it didn't fit in with whatever image you were sort of projecting at that time, and you may want to go back and do that too. You might find that when you are more yourself, you still find the same, if not more, acceptance. And so, if you were sacrificing some things because you didn't know how it would be taken, like there's a place. And if there isn't a place, Leo will create its place and the worlds will gravitate towards you. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But all the best, Leo. I'm not giving y'all a full like 20 minutes. I'm proud of myself for that one. And we're moving right into Aquarius. So we went from Capricorn to Cancer. Now we're going from Leo to Aquarius. Aquas. Speaking of oddballs, I'm kidding. I love Aquarius. 53:59. Hey Aquarius, this is y'all's like August to September energy. Just the energy out there. You ain't gotta interact with it. It ain't gotta interact with you. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. It kind of sort of depends on where you're at and how rough it's gonna be for you, right? Because some of these energies we try to keep them from coming in, but you can't really stop them. Wow, Aquarius has got the star. Aquarius is in its own energy. That's so Aquarian. That is so Aquarian. I love it. But the Five of Cups is here, and I don't love that. Bloomy Rose! What's up? How are you doing? Oh my gosh, I literally just started Aquarius. Let's go. Right on time. How are you doing, Bloomin'? So the star card is out, which is amazing. The Five of Cups is out, which is not. Five of Cups is Scorpionic energy. Scorpio is also fixed, so it squares. Oh, look, and Leo just had the Six of Swords. But that's squares, right? And a square is a little bit of tension. You felt my vibes, Well, oh, it wasn't. um, a square could be a little bit of a challenge, and so maybe your emotions are kind of sort of challenging you right now. Maybe there's a depth of emotion that's kind of sort of challenging you right now. And it could be a little bit of a tie that you want to free yourself from. Almost feels like an energy that could be holding you down or dragging you down, or kind of like Leo, where Leo was about like how your shine has an impact on everyone else around you. But it almost feels like someone, like Aquarius, you are someone's shooting star. And so they kind of sort of pin a lot of hope on you, and they kind of sort of rely on your positivity, or they rely on getting something from you. But at the same time, they kind of sort of like pull you down into whatever they're in. And so they may not always go about it in the best way. And if you're ever like, hey, like, I'm going to take care of me, then they may turn on you a little bit. Maybe. Maybe not. Yep. So, Aquarius, I would say this is about boundaries. For sure. And it's not necessarily that you're in a precarious position right now, right? It doesn't necessarily feel like you're on the brink of slipping into darkness, but it does kind of sort of feel like it's almost that energy of like Aquarius is having a really, 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 really good day, but Aquarius also has a friend who hasn't been having a great time. And so now Aquarius is like, or then you get a text or a call from that friend, and you're looking at the phone like, I know that like my amazing day that I'm having and the amazing energy that I'm in is not gonna go over well with this person. It's like, do I keep my good day or do I put my high vibes on hold for this person? It feels like Aquarian energy has been released while everything else is kind of sort of underground. And I did just say that like we're kind of sort of depending on Leo energy because Leo energy is the sun, and it's dark in the world for a lot of folks right now, so we kind of need the sun. And also like Aquarius, we're kind of sort of depending on a lot of people are pinning a lot of hope on the age of Aquarius. So things are probably getting a little heavy for Aquarian energy because like I said, everyone is pinning their like it's the star. Like we see shooting stars and we wish for things that we don't think we can do ourselves. So it's like Aquarius is kind of sort of carrying the weight of tomorrow right now. And stars can be suns, I'm sure, but they're so far away that like they can give us a little bit of something pretty to look at in the sky, but or they can give us some guidance, but they don't really like illuminate the ground. They're not close enough to give us any warmth. They, when it comes again to the mosaic that is the night, they're gorgeous, but you know, unless you ain't got GPS, what are the stars gonna do for you? I guess, you know, if we're talking about astrology, then stars matter, but those aren't even stars; those are planets. Some people look at fixed stars though, so some people do look at fixed stars, but I don't know. I don't envy Aquarian energy right here. I would definitely. Well, I guess it's just about learning healthy boundaries. Um, and if y'all ain't in this energy yet, again, this it could be coming up. It's around you. I feel like you're definitely like I don't know. It's like look at all of these lines shooting up. It's like millions of tiny hands trying to reach up through the night to get that star. But I don't think any of those lights are touching the star. So like don't let it get you down. Also, this could be you and you, um, right? This could be a sort of like an older part of you, a darker part of you, a more mopey part of you. Maybe you're not allowing yourself to experience the fullness of the good moments that life has given you right now because of the not so great moments. And it's like, well, I don't want to get too excited about this. I don't want to get too hopeful about that because there's a lot not going according to plan. And I ain't necessarily looking to be let down again right now. So I'm just going to keep my expectations realistic. But like I said, Aquarius, y'all are kind of sort of carrying the weight of tomorrow. Leo's got today, Aquarius has got tomorrow, and everybody's dumping all the problems in the world on Pisces. Because we're coming out of the age of Pisces energy, and the age of Pisces was so terrible. The age of Pisces was trash because people decided to be garbage. Like, everybody got a good book that's like, love your neighbor, treat other people well, but like, people couldn't do that. So, anyway, it ain't about that, Aquarius. It's about you. All right, Clorinda. Ooh! Have fun. Talk soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm sure it's the daytime over there because it's evening here. And yeah, thanks for stopping in. It was fun. But yeah, Aquarius, that's what I got. Maybe some healthy boundaries would serve you well. And don't be afraid to celebrate. I've been celebrating a lot. I've been creating things to celebrate. It's my half birthday, by the way, today. Um, so I am half a year older and half a year younger than my next age. So yeah, but that's what I got, Aquarius. It feels a little demanding, honestly. It feels really demanding. And maybe there isn't a lot of appreciation here. Or maybe you sort of like you were flying high. It could have been that you were flying high and you've hit a bit of a rough spot. And so now, whereas people typically turn to you, maybe you're kind of sort of needing somebody to turn to and maybe not really having the best of luck finding somebody to turn to. Or maybe you're not reaching out. Is this horse suffering in silence? It could be. And that's like Aquarian energy is also fixed, right? And it's the opposite of Leo. And so maybe like you're typically aloof, typically a little bit outside of someone's, what do you call it? Reach. Outside of someone's reach. I was like, what do you call, like, what's the word for something that's like not within reach? Like, what is that? Something like that you can't reach, just out of reach. Maybe you're not typically the most reachable. And now you're kind of sort of finding these times where you want to be a little bit closer. Um, you know, it's and that kind of sort of reminds me of this one friend I have. She's a Sagittarius, but there was this period of time when she was like telling folks that like she loved them, and we were all kind of like we know that she loves us, and so like she doesn't really have to say it because like we know it, but we were all also like a little concerned. And she was like, why can't I express to the people that I care about that I care about them without people thinking that something is wrong with me? And it's like, it's not that you can't, it's just like not expected. um so I mean, the star is here, Aquarius, and so maybe it's also time to do something that's not expected. Unattainable, yes. Unattainable. But maybe Aquarius wants to be attained right now, right? Maybe Aquarius, it ain't you. It's like Aquarius don't necessarily want to be like in your hands, but if we across the street from each other, then that's good. Right? I ain't gotta come inside your house. I'm just like waving from the outside, hey, and then I'm moving on. Um, but yeah, it's like what you kind of sort of allow yourself, or what you sort of need to allow yourself right now. And I think healthy boundaries can work both ways, because sometimes we don't have enough boundaries, and sometimes we have way too many boundaries. And healthy is just bringing it closer to the center, right? And so, yeah, maybe Aquarius, y'all are in a space of reworking your boundaries right now. And that's what I got. Bloomin' Rose. You always make my day when you come in, Bloomin' Rose. I just wanted you to know that. Let's see what's next. All the best, Aquarius. Y'all got this. Oh, snap. Now we're going to Gemini. That means all of the air signs are done. Aquarius into Gemini. Wow, these are moving fairly quickly. 1:06:28. Hey, I gotta put the elements on here because I forgot. So Gemini, this is y'all's now into like September-ish type stuff. Just the energies that are around, Maybe they'll interact with you. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will rock you, and you'll just have to take it. Or learn how to surf, or fly, because you're an air sign, right? The winds are changing, Gemini, and Gemini is kind of sort of literally the changing winds. It can be a little chaotic, I guess, if it's changing too much, but this is very much also your time, Gemini. Wow, we go from Leo to Aquarius to Gemini. I feel like, all energies we need. So it's not to be like, oh, I feel like I feel like we need your energy. I've been saying that to Leo and Aquarius specifically because, today and tomorrow. But Gemini, like the North Node is in Gemini right now. Like we can all stand to be a little bit more intellectually curious. We can all stand to be a little bit more involved locally. We can all stand to be a little bit more open-minded and to allow ourselves to, the words are escaping me, and I don't want to say be two-faced, but we can all sort of allow ourselves to switch up our outfit and to wear a hat that we haven't worn in a while, especially if it's a hat that we want to wear, right? And ain't nothing wrong with that. Sometimes Gemini energy, or there's this one Gemini in particular that I know, who can be a little crass. I think crass is the word I want to use. And let's ask Siri. Hey Siri, define crass.
Crass means lacking sensitivity, refinement, or intelligence.
Okay, yeah, he can be a little crass. And it's not that he's lacking intelligence, because he's very intelligent, but he might be lacking a little bit of sensitivity sometimes. But it's not malicious. It's honestly from a space of like curiosity, right? And it's honestly sometimes those questions that really allow us to get to know each other, right? Instead of like tiptoeing around all of these things that like we have genuine curiosities about, but we don't bring it up because we don't want to offend anybody. And I ain't telling nobody to just go out and start offending people, because I'm not a fan of that energy. But it's the energy of breaking down barriers, kind of, right? Where Sagittarius would kind of sort of establish barriers, honestly. Sometimes through religion, sometimes through philosophy, through other things. Sagittarius is it's an energy, interestingly enough, it's an energy about going beyond borders, but the energy itself, at least in the age of Pisces, kind of sort of created a lot of borders too. So, But anyway, Gemini, Y'all are sitting on top of the world. Wait, wait. I mean, the whole world is a Gemini right now. The whole world is changing. And we're seeing both faces of the whole world right now. We're kind of sort of seeing the face of the world that a lot of us wanted to ignore, but it's things that we have to deal with. And the North Node, again, is in Gemini right now. And so it's time to deal with these things. And if we got to be a little bit crass to reach an understanding, then maybe it's time to do that, question mark. And then we have the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is a Sagittarian energy. Interesting. The world is Saturnian. Also fixed. Also could be... No, yeah. It's Saturn. Um, and then the Nine of Wands. I feel like the Nine of Wands in this deck in particular is about near completion. Right? Maybe we got really close to being on the brink of international global disaster. And it's about really changing up the game. Right? And I feel like that's an energy that we don't necessarily always equate to Gemini, but Gemini can do it just as well, if not better. Well, Gemini might do it too much. Gemini might do it too quick that it'll catch some people off guard. But Gemini, again, it can be the energy of just like changing up the game. It's mutable air. It's a change in the wind. It can be a little bit tornado-y sometimes if it's changing too much, if it's too chaotic. But it's like we almost need a little bit of chaos right now to really uproot things. And it isn't necessarily chaos for the sake of being chaotic, but it's like there are so many fundamental underlying things that have been relatively unaddressed. And even if they were addressed, that have gone like not right. Like there's been nothing to actually change them. And if your whole foundation is corrupt, and we're going in and we're removing corruption, then like it's going to cause a little bit of chaos because that was the foundation. It's like, 65% of the foundation is gone because we finally went down to the basement and cleaned out everything that needed to be cleaned out. So, and it's interesting though, because Gemini energy isn't necessarily like the deepest because it's mercurial. It's almost like too fast and too transient to really go that deeply. But it's like when Gemini energy can focus, then it kind of sort of has the capability to be unstoppable because air flows pretty much everywhere, right? Unless you're in a vacuum. In that case, then you ain't got snow air. No air, no air. But yeah, anyway, the Knight of Wands is about near completion. And so maybe Gemini, you're working on something, and maybe you kind of sort of experienced a little bit of a setback with the world. Or maybe, as the world's been set back, you found a way to actually move forward, because it's like now everyone's in your arena, where nothing is necessarily constant. But I think there is a call to sort of focus and to really close out old chapters, and to really open up new ones, and to kind of sort of live up to the mutable nature and modality that you are. It's interesting though, because it's like someone's bottling the wind. And at first, like the wind didn't want to be captured or didn't like being captured, but now it's almost like it's starting to calm down. And once the energy is calmed down, then it can be given direction. Because it's like it was moving too fast before. And it's not necessarily to not be you, but it's an energy of refinement and refining the self. It's giving me like the energy, like it's like this air drill of like focused air that just like cuts through stuff. Do we have those? Are those like real? I mean, air under pressure can do some amazing things. So, under pressure. All right, Gemini, that's what I got for you. My advice would be maybe focus on completing something right now. And it looks like you're really, really close to completing something, but you keep getting distracted, maybe. Or your attention keeps getting pulled away from it, and you're like a wand away from completion. Maybe also, because this is at night and the moon is here, maybe you don't know what this is a 3 and Gemini is a 3. Wow, look at that. I didn't even catch that. It's the third zodiac sign, right? Gemini. You got a 3 here, and then you got 3 3s here in the 9. But anyway, it's like maybe with this moon card, you don't know what the world would be like if you do take the next step. And so you keep running laps. Maybe even mentally. Maybe falling into patterns of addiction. I don't know why the word abuse popped into my mind. Like I was looking for the word like patterns of addiction, but then like patterns of abuse. Hopefully you're not being abused or abusing anybody else. If you are, then like stop abusing people. If you're being abused, then maybe get some help to break that cycle. But again, it's like you don't know. It's like almost like you don't even know what the world would be like in this new cycle. And so it's like the energy of the leaf caught in the eddy. Like there is this air that's coming in and the winds are changing and shifting, but it's like they shift right back. Right? It's like you don't allow yourself to go completely. You shift back and then you like, and it does this. And you spiral. You're spiraling, Gemini. This started so positive and now Gemini is spiraling. Or am I spiraling? I don't know. What is life? What is love? Baby, don't hurt yourself. It can be a little bit scary, Gemini, but I'm sure it's like decent on the other side. Um, and Gemini energy is also very adaptive. So, you know, it'll be fine. Maybe it's time to be a little brave, Gemini. Now we're coming into Virgo energy. Still haven't gotten an element yet. Mutable, mutable. Virgo energy. Virgo energy. 1 second, y'all. Let me get this timestamp for Virgo energy. Happy Virgo season, Virgos. Y'all got the first half of the season. It's my half birthday today, Virgos. I'm a Pisces, so, you know, maybe this year y'all can celebrate y'all's half birthdays in Pisces season, because why not? 1:19:19. So Virgo, I did start y'all like a few seconds back because I couldn't resist the 1:19:19. That's a double sun for the one that is you, Virgo. And Virgo energy, y'all, how are y'all? First of all, I hope you're doing well. I haven't asked anyone else how they're doing, so I would apologize, but it's not about them right now, Virgo. It's about you, Virgo. How are you doing? And Who and what are you about right now? Are you still doing that kind of sort of like self-sacrificey type thing? Are you still like going like really, really, really hard for other people, but maybe not as hard as like you could be going for yourself? Um, are you still kind of sort of in that energy of not really wanting to cause any conflict or confrontation, so you'll continue to bite the bullet? Or like, is Virgo about to like come onto the scene, right? Because I've been saying this for the past few, but like Virgo, the world could really use your energy right now just to clean up some of the mess that's going down. And Scorpio is doing its part by dredging it all up to the surface. And and I guess that's what Pluto and Capricorn is doing. It's like, oh, y'all want to get governmental? Girl, y'all want to talk about like laws and codes and how maybe they're not necessarily really designed for everyone in mind or with everyone in mind. Virgo is an energy of purity, um, and it can also be an energy of purification, which I want to say Scorpio can be too. Maybe because of that Pluto link. But Virgo purification is kind of sort of about not compartmentalizing, organizing. Whereas Scorpio purification can be more about revealing, right? Not a lot of order in the world right now, Virgo. Let's see what your minor is. The Four of Swords, though. Four of Swords. So y'all's like at peace, or trying to be at peace. It's like the world is kind of sort of. The world could be falling around you, or caving in around you, but it's like you found your peace. Or you let's see what this is. Okay, it's the High Priestess. So maybe you will be finding your peace, um, because it's like, but these four swords, it could be the thoughts, opinions, and words of others that maybe have been like attacking you for a minute. Like, I'm feeling very attacked. And maybe you've just been kind of sort of caring too much and carrying too much. And again, it's like it's time for you to care about you. It's time for you to allow yourself to be at peace and to not constantly be fixing or organizing or being there for someone else in a way that's about like really kind of sort of putting them together. I have a Virgo best friend. I have a few Virgo best friends. But I was talking to one of them a few months ago now, which is wild because it doesn't even feel like a few months, but apparently it's been a few months. Like with everything shut down, I thought that time would feel like it's like slowed down, but time has been flying. I'm like, how is it already September? This year like just started. But at the same time, it feels like the beginning of the year was years ago, or at least like a year ago. But I mean, it's been half a year because it's my half birthday. But anyway, I completely lost my train of thought. Sorry, Virgo. Oh, I was talking to my best friend. Yes, that's why. Okay. And he was talking about was talking about like how like the Pisces Virgo axis is the axis of servitude. And so she was talking about how like we kind of sort of like we're there for other people and how we put other people together. And I was like, yep. And then she was like, well, who's there for us to put us back together? And I was like, sometimes we have to be there for ourselves and put ourselves back together. And it's almost like it's that time for Virgo. Like they're both looking in this direction. And right here, it's just chilling. The Four of Swords is in between the 3 heartbreak and the 5 confrontation. So maybe avoiding confrontation isn't necessarily a bad thing right now. And it's like with these swords like looming overhead, it isn't even necessarily that like you're avoiding confrontation. It just feels like you're learning to come into a peace. Now this High Priestess here just tells me that Virgo, whatever you need to do in your life or whatever is best for you right now, you already know what it is. And if you ain't got no peace in your life, and if you always stressed out and you don't want that stress to really affect your health, then it's like you kind of sort of know what you need to do. You may not necessarily know how to go about doing it. And look, we have the same moon cycle. You may not necessarily know how to do it, but you know that you need to figure it out, or to at least begin figuring it out. So I would say listen to your intuition. Maybe get into some meditation, slow things down a little bit, and maybe don't be afraid to sort of role play a little bit, right? If you had no one who was depending or relying on you for X, Y, Z, A, B, or C, 1, 2, 3, or diamond, circle, and square, what would you be doing? Where would you be going? And, like, if you had no, like, responsibilities or ties to anyone or anything, what would you be doing? Or what would you like to do? Right? Because sometimes we don't know, but we can kind of sort of think of things that we would like to at least explore or to dive into, right? And maybe you'd be able to find some peace in that. But I would say that, like, definitely try to find some peace and try to find some calm, even if it's just something that you can do to get a few minutes a day in that day, because stress can wreak havoc on the body. And a stressed out Virgo isn't any fun for anybody. Like, anybody stressed out isn't fun, but like a stressed out Virgo especially, because we don't need somebody like trying to like pop a blood vessel or whatever. um, but yeah, just take it easy and find comfort within yourself, because then it's like there's something about this ability to remain at peace even under these swords that will really benefit you in the long run, maybe, and in the now, but maybe more so in the long run. So that's what I got for you, Virgo. I honestly feel like there's something that I'm missing, but I also don't feel like it's my job to tell you what it is. Because the High Priestess in this deck is one of my, like, live life and find out cards. Um, and because the High Priestess to me pretty much always says that whatever I would tell you, you already know. And so, I don't know, I just don't feel like I really have to dig into it. But the Four of Swords right there is kind of sort of about finding that peace and mental rest. It's almost like a period of rejuvenation and recuperation before a major endeavor. So things may be picking up for you fairly soon, Virgo, and the peace that you're able to cultivate now would greatly serve you when things really begin to pick up. Because again, like, we ain't got time for stressed out Virgos. My dad is a Virgo, and he just these are the notifications that just came in. He's a Virgo, I'm a Pisces, and my mom's a Pisces. They were together for a minute. Sorry. Oh, snap. We got our first elemental energy, and water is taking it. And I forgot about water. I forgot I was doing elements because I'm over like an hour and a half into this now, I think. And I was excited to almost be done. Only have Aries, Scorpio, and Pisces left. All right, water signs. 1:30:22. Water signs. This is your collective energy. Let's see what's up. Oh, snap. The sun. The sun is coming out for water signs. Wait. And then look at this. We got the rainbow shadow. With the sun kissing my face, there's no way that I can lose. What is that? I hear you say that I can let you leave my life like this. I think that's Friendly Fires. I know it's Friendly Fires, but I can't remember. Dum, 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 dum. I should know that song. I can feel in my body, free from no chains on me are breaking loose. What is that? It's Friendly Fires. Now I gotta find the song because it's gonna bother me. I can feel in my body, shows me the way, shows me the way. I hear you say that I can let you leave my life like this. Don't leave, don't leave, don't leave. I think it's on Paula. Hurting. It is hurting. Yeah. I can't keep feeling the pain of your touch. Your touch keeps on hurting. Let's make sure. Oh, I ain't trying to play the whole thing. I think it's Hurting by Friendly Fires. I can feel it in my body. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, sorry. I am in the Eight of Pentacles. That's interesting because I had an encounter with a spider earlier today. Also, the symbolism is interesting. It's almost like the spider is the sun, right? And like those 8 planets are the 8 planets on the spider webs around the sun. Because you see the spider in the middle with all the lines coming out, and then we see all the lines coming out of the sun, right? There's 8 planets, right? Because they say Pluto that ain't a planet no more. Yeah, astrologically there's 10, including the sun, because the moon takes the place of Earth and Pluto is still a planet. So yeah, this is something that water signs have been working towards. So water signs, if y'all have been putting in the work, know that you're about to get a payout. And not only are you about to get a payout, but the work that you've put in is like it's just amazing. The Eight of Pentacles is Virgo energy, so that's amazing. It's the first decan of Virgo. I believe we're in the first decan of Virgo right now. Let me check and see where the sun is. I'm pretty sure it's the first decan of Virgo because Virgo season like just started, right? Right? We are 6 degrees, so we are over halfway into this first decan of Virgo. But again, it's like it's almost like the mastery that we have been working towards will be giving us the energy to see the sun regardless of the darkness of the day. And as water signs, we are connected to the collective heart, right? I would say air signs could be connected to the collective mind. Earth signs connected to the collective experience, fire signs connected to the collective like desires and stuff like that. And so we're connected to the collective heart. And so it's like we can kind of sort of bring light to that, but we kind of sort of gotta want to. As in, like, we kind of sort of gotta give an F. Um, But yeah, I mean, ultimately, like overall, I feel like this is very good energy for water signs. The work ain't over yet because it is only the Eight of Pentacles, but I feel like there's some payout about to happen. Maybe emotionally, maybe intellectually. I don't know what that would be. Maybe physically, right? That'd be amazing. And also, it might be time to act on everything and show and exhibit and shine, like radiate all of this stuff that you've been doing. Like be that example that makes the world a little bit brighter because y'all's been doing the work. So that's what I got for you, water signs. Keep up the good work, and it don't look like it's over. So even want to get a little bit easier, and then here we come with Pisces right after that. Woo-woo. It may. I forget what I was saying because I got so excited about Pisces. But yeah, the work may not be over, but oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait, it's Friday. It's Friday. Um just give me a second to catch my breath and to try to not cry. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm almost done, right? I can make it to the end of this video, but I kind of sort of do want to wrap this up. So let's just get into it. I'm probably not gonna be done. This is so tragic. You know what? For everybody else, y'all get the light version. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I am so over double energy. I'm so over double energy. I see this card way too much. I almost forgot to timestamp Pisces. I'm so annoyed. But at the same time, I guess this energy gotta do what it gotta do. I'm just like, really? And I actually thought about this lately because devil energy can also be illusions. And that's something, it can be attachment, it can be illusions, it can be a lot of things that I guess I wasn't necessarily reading into. 1:38:05. So Pisces, this is y'all like end of August into September, just the energy all around y'all. Y'all got the devil and the Seven of Wands. And I guess the devil energy wouldn't be working so hard if Pisces wasn't no little light. So Pisces, maybe y'all got a little light of yours that y'all's been shining or trying to shine. Maybe you're coming into a space of your own personal power. And as you've been coming into that space of your own personal power, devil energy has been on yo's tail. I wanted to say like a different thing, but it's like, and it almost feels like it's because whatever Pisces has been doing, it has the energy to like break chains, right? And that was the thing about water signs being tied to the collective heart, because the collective heart of humanity has turned very dark and has been very diseased and suffocated and everything else. And it's like as Piscean energy from the depths of the collective subconscious as the energy most connected to the divine. Typically through that like later in life, afterlife sort of time span that Pisces is connected to, it's like it really has the ability to pull this down. And I guess at the same time, it can be experiencing some of the more difficult of other things as well, especially if this Pisces is like empathic and doesn't necessarily have good psychic boundaries, for lack of a better phrase. Could be really taking on things that aren't yours. Also, like I said, devil energy is illusion. And so it can really sort of be trying to work on your mind right now and trying to get you to bypass whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, again, like devil energy don't come for people already sort of like playing those games, because it's like, you know, devil energy ain't got to go looking for you because you go looking for devil energy. It's only when you're not looking for it that it really comes after you. And there's something about like the fire on this goat's hooves and the fire here. And that's why I said it's like it's really breaking chains, because it's almost taking the power out of those hooves and reclaiming it for itself. Maybe you've been doing a lot of shadow work. And since you've been doing all that shadow work, you've been in a really good position where you're not as susceptible to the things that you used to be susceptible to, where you're in this position to really make forward movement. And you know what energy wouldn't like that? Devil energy. And at a certain point, it's just like, you know, it's my job to try to take you off path. So I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. But at the same time, it's like, but you don't have to do that job though. Like, you're choosing to enforce this like BSery right now, when we both know that like you ain't gotta do this. And devil energy is like, no, I have to. And it's like, no, like you really don't. Like you really don't. And devil energy is like, I kinda do. um but yeah, it's about taking the sting out of that. It's about taking the power out of the darkness to deter and to discourage you, and healing that and finding a way to bring light to it, right? Because it's like this one wand has found a way to absorb its darkness, but also to be its own light, or to come into a light, or to bear the light, right? And there is a little bit of a leadery type energy here. It is, you know, standing out. In this deck in particular, the Seven of Wands is typically a card of having the higher ground. So in this deck, maybe it's more about like mental, emotional enlightenment and a space of sort of standing in that amidst all of the chaos right now, right? It's almost like Piscean energy could be anchoring through Neptune, through the space of dreams, right? Pisces, you're the dreamers. And so maybe the energy of Pisces is sort of anchoring the hope for tomorrow right now, while we're still in the dark before we can actually see it, right? And Aquarius kind of sort of has the same energy, but the stars, like, we still have to be able to see them. So even when we can't see the stars at night, we still have our hopes and our hearts. And that's what I got for Pisces energy. Continue to be strong. It's all going to turn around. You know, give devil energy to boot. Devil energy ain't got nothing on you. Next is Aries. So coming right off of Pisces is Aries. Aries, how does it feel to be so close to the end of the video? You know, welcome to Pisces world. 1:43:27. Aries, this is y'all's energy for like September basically. And it's just the energy around. You can interact with it in any number of ways. It's just something to be cognizant and aware of. Oh wow, Aries, y'all's got the lovers, and my Venus is in Aries, so you know. Oh, with the Ten of Pentacles, what? Oh snap, Aries, what are y'all doing? What's going on, Aries? Let's talk. Actually, I have an Aries best friend who I ain't caught up with in a minute, so we's definitely gonna have to give her a little chit chat. Aries, I feel like this is about making profitable and honest and self-honoring choices. Honestly, I feel like one of the things that would be very, very beneficial right now, which I feel like y'all are probably doing already with this energy, being what this energy is, one of the things that would be very beneficial right now is to have a little bit more foresight and to look a little further ahead. When it came to Capricorn energy, I was like, you know, Aries is also cardinal, but I wouldn't necessarily rely on Aries to build something that's going to be around for like 10, 15, 25 years. right? Like 1, 2, 5, sure. But anything long term, it's like, what fires do we have that burn that long? Now, they did have the Vestal Virgins kept the fire going in Rome. And it was rumored that if the fire ever went out, then, Rome would fall or something like that. But fire typically isn't an energy that's sustainable. And Aries, it's about making choices and decisions that are more sort of long term. And it's not that there isn't anything to do in the short term, but maybe it's to like not get discouraged. If it doesn't immediately become what you sort of envisioned it to be, then keep going anyway, because just like love, it grows and changes and evolves over time and as each individual evolves, right? And sometimes it starts as something tiny, and then eventually one day it becomes this huge thing that you can't imagine yourself living without. But that's what I got for you, Aries. I mean, this looks amazing. This looks gorgeous. Maybe family life is like really good right now, or maybe you need to find a little balance in family life right now. Maybe also because there's only two of the Canadian geese here. Um, Maybe this is about sort of tightening the circle a little bit at the same time, and really finding the people who align with you and who can carry that vision, who it makes sense to build with. Also, if you are in business right now or any kind of partnership, really, again, make sure it's someone that will sort of stand the test of time, or make sure you set up an LL company, either an LLC or an LLP, limited liability. That way, if somebody else is doing something shady and questionable, you don't have to sort of take full responsibility for their actions, right? That's why you kind of sort of really got to know who you're going into business with, because if one person mess it up, they can mess it up for everybody. Again, unless you're in a limited liability situation, and then that kind of sort of helps, right? And I learned that in this one random class. I know a bunch of random stuff about a bunch of random stuff. So now we're coming into the element of fire after Aries closed M out. So Pisces, oh no, because we still got Scorpio. Girl, Scorpio, you're holding up the line. Sorry. And that's the masculine side of Aries, so hey. 1:47:42. By your signs, this is y'all's general. Y'all got the Three of Swords and Justice. Fire signs, don't be vindictive. Just because somebody burned you, don't mean you gotta go and literally burn somebody. Don't set nobody's house on fire. Don't kill nobody's cars. I feel like fire signs, there's this energy of needing to surrender the outcome to situations where you've been wronged and hurt in the past, because to continue to carry hurt and pain will only kind of sort of like, the thing about some pain is that when we carry it, it only really poisons us. And it's like, no matter how badly we want for someone else to not do well or to get their karma, it doesn't necessarily have to affect them. And it doesn't always. And then we're like thinking that it's unfair that we can be so hurt by somebody else and how they can get everything that they wanted. And again, it's something that you hold on to that only continues to poison you. It doesn't even, like, you can't feel it so hard within you that it might affect somebody else. Right? Not always. Maybe some of y'all's is into, this or that, and you're like, oh, well, I can get my whatever. But at the same time, whatever you give, you are also liable to get. And so it's like, we all hurt and wrong people, not always intentionally. And if you feel justified in trying to go after somebody else may be justified in trying to come after you. So I feel like Justice in the Three of Swords is kind of like, let the situation work itself out. And if you can find the lesson in it, if you can find the healing in it, if you can grow stronger, then let that be what that experience was about. There's not a lot of blood in this Three of Swords card. A lot of this is the red string, right? And the red string is fate. It's something that was fated to happen. Now, there is a little bit of blood down there, so it's not that it didn't hurt, but again, it's something that was fated to happen. And it's not necessarily fated to keep you stuck. It's not necessarily to completely derail your whole life. Because eventually, at some point, you can choose to be that fire energy, be a little cardinal, purify what needs to be purified within you, and then the fire gets put out so that something else can come and grow in its place. It's really a time to balance the self and balance out the ego, fire signs, because y'all don't want to do something that y'all will end up regretting. And also at the same time, it's like when you choose to hold on to that, then you don't see all of the beautiful things in life. And that's why I don't like anger, because it's really, especially in me, it's like a black hole. It consumes a lot of everything else. And it's like when you're mad, there are just like amazing and beautiful things that still happen that you just don't see. And at the end of the day, it's like some of these people aren't worth the mental and emotional energy that you continue to give them. And again, like some of it is painful, and it's not easy to just like walk away from hurt and pain and other stuff. But it doesn't serve us as much as we would like it to either sometimes. So that's what I got for y'all, fire signs. Temperance. Temper the flame, temper the temper, and let the past serve as a lesson. And let it sort of serve as a dark, so that when you experience the light, you have that to compare it to. And it makes the sweets that much sweeter when the bitters are bitter, right? So, sorry that it happened, fire signs, and all the best. Last but not least, zodiac-wise, is Scorpio. Where my Scorpios at? There's some in this house. There's some Scorpios in this house. Scorpios in this house. I just listened to WAP for the first time today. Sorry. Ooh, Seven of Swords, Scorpio. Look, the Hermit and the Seven of Swords. Scorpio is being Scorpio right now, y'all. If you can't find a Scorpio right now, they probably don't want to be seen. If you got Pisces in your chart, you might see them anyway. Hey, Trines. 1:52:45. No, this ain't like 4 hours like last time. Ooh, only 2 left. Ooh, I might finish in time. Okay, so Scorpios, y'all's deep in hermit mode. Or you need to be deep in hermit mode. But Scorpio, it's when you're in hermit mode, do something productive. With the Seven of Swords, it's telling me, like, don't just go down there and be down there for no reason. Find whatever is lying down there waiting for you to claim it. Find that little source of power. Find the reason why you keep ending up in the same situation instead of just asking yourself why you end up in the same situation. Feeling like you can't depend or rely on anybody. Feeling like you don't get the finer things in life. And maybe, Scorpio, y'all have been repeating a cycle that you really want to put it into. And the best way to put it into it is to, again, learn the lesson. Kind of sort of like fire signs, right? It ain't necessarily about being vengeful and getting even, but when you can find a reason why it happened that serves you in a positive way, then you can let it go and you can release it, and it doesn't have to continue to like hold you down, or like it's like Scorpio is finally trying to come up to the surface with everybody else, but there's something holding on to the legs of Scorpio so that it can't really move upward. Or the arms, right? Some people are born feet first. And that usually causes complications, question mark. And so don't overly complicate things, Scorpio. And I feel like there's also an energy here of not completely revealing what is going on with you. Swords can be communication, and we got the Six of Swords that we can see clearly, which means that on the surface it looks like everything's okay and you're navigating all right. But there's a seventh sword hidden, which is, again, not complete communication. And then maybe it leaves you in this hermit mode. And it's like, well, if no one knows what's going on with you, then how can anyone help you? There's kind of sort of a few spaces in here. And Virgo season is giving us the opportunity to clean some stuff up. But again, it's like there have been a few signs where they kind of sort of have to deal with either the opposite side of their energy, right? Like the masculine or feminine side of their planetary ruler, or they have to deal with their own energy. And for all of the fixed energies besides Taurus, it's been about how we sort of allow ourselves, maybe even Taurus a little bit. I can't remember. Because it wasn't like Taurus was completely out of their energy, but for Taurus it felt like a mode shift. But for Aquarius, Leo, and now Scorpio, it's like you're kind of sort of used to things being a certain way and it's not working anymore. Or you need a break from the usual, but you have to allow yourself to take that break, right? You can't necessarily, I mean, you can completely, I don't want to say play the victim, but feel isolated and alone and unknown when it comes to everybody else. But again, if you never communicate that, if you never open yourself up, how is somebody supposed to know? And just because you can intuitively pick up on the things that people sort of keep to themselves and hide doesn't necessarily mean that people do it to the same degree for you, especially if you're really good at hiding it. A closed mouth doesn't get fed, Scorpio. And if you don't ask, how is anyone supposed to give it to you? It's time to come out of the shell and to really find somebody that you can be vulnerable with. It also kind of sort of seems to be the case for some Scorpios that they end up encountering trust issues because of maybe there was someone who you trusted in the past with certain information and then they left or they betrayed you, and so it's like, well, how am I supposed to open up? Ain't nobody worth opening up to. Then open up to your guides. Get a journal, get a diary, open up to the universe, open up to spirit, open up to somebody, right? Or just to yourself. Just like verbalize it and allow yourself to really at least not keep it so far pushed down. So that's what I got for you, Scorpios, coming into air signs. Air signs. I got like 9 minutes. Well, technically like 11, right? 1:57:53. Air signs, this is what I got for you. This is what I got for you. Oh, snap, the magician! And the Five of Swords. Okay, so air signs connected to the collective mind. It's time for us to stop manifesting our own downfall. It's time for us to stop putting energy into the things that we don't want to put energy into. And it's not to ignore it, and it's not to be oblivious, but it's to just like there's a difference. There's a difference. It's subtle. Air signs, maybe y'all are your own worst enemy right now. How is your mind, air sign? Is it working with you or against you? If it's working against you, you might want to fix that. If it's working with you, then what's the holdup with these Five of Swords? Also, air signs, maybe y'all have been in the energy of changing toxic thought patterns and removing toxicity from your life. At least for now, because I mean, worms do kind of sort of grow back, right? So, but would this worm? But would you be the worm? There's something here about not letting your pain and your past define you. I feel like a lot of times when things happen to us, we kind of sort of slip into this defiant energy where through not allowing our pain to define us, we kind of sort of end up allowing our pain to define us, right? Sometimes we become the antithesis to it, but while we are the antithesis to it, we kind of sort of still live from that space, right? Oh, like, I'm not affected. I'm not affected. This doesn't hurt. I'm not upset. I'm not upset. And it's like, really? Because you're kind of acting like a little bit upset. But allow Virgo energy to clean up the mind and to sort of streamline things. Maybe now's the time to, just like Gemini, get a little bit more focused. Libra was kind of sort of also in a space of reevaluation. Aquarius was also kind of sort of in that space. And it was about sort of like redefining boundaries. Gemini was about focus. Aquarius was about potentially redefining boundaries. And then Libra was about not overcommitting yourself to things and putting yourself at detriment and slowing down long enough to allow things to come to you, right? So there's a real need for air energy to, I mean, times are changing, right? And the winds are like the things that sort of, it's like the winds of change. We usually typically associate change with the wind or with water, but with movement, it's fluidity. But if it doesn't have a direction, then what it manifests is like tornadoes and storms. And we are in a stormy time, but it's stormy to give rise to purification, right? There's still a point to it, right? A storm in a forested area gives rise to the fires that cleanse those areas. And it's when we move into those areas that we really sort of run into issues. Just like when we move into, I don't know, volcanic areas. Right? I don't need to necessarily go that far. But we don't have as much control over the land as we would like. And we're kind of sort of subjected to the whims of Earth. And the clouds are a part of the earthen sphere, right? Because our atmosphere is a part of Earth, but it's also above the ground. And so it's about being connected, but being connected in the facet that you really sort of serve in, or in that way that we need you. And it is to, in some ways, be above it. And it is to, in some ways, be the motivators for change. But again, everything has a purpose and everything has a reason. And so maybe get a little bit more intent on a purpose right now, to not have this sort of disjointed magic that doesn't work out the way that you would like. It ends up causing more chaos. And last but certainly not least is the air signs. Air is the earth signs. Oh my goodness. One. Oh. No, it ain't one no more. It's two. 2:02:57. All right, Earth signs, you are wrapping it up with the Tower, of course, and the Ten of Swords. All right, Earth signs, I'll give y'all the Moon, and I'll also give y'all the Ace of Wands to see what's on the bottom of all the decks since you're wrapping it up. Earth signs, the whole world is changing right now. And like I just said about air signs being above it, Earth signs, y'all are beneath it or it. Right? Because we all live on the earth, but the earth goes a lot deeper than we think sometimes. And if you dig further into the earth, things get really cool and they stay about that temperature. If you dig even further into the earth, things get really hot as you get to the molten part of the core. And then you dig below that, and then you get to something solid, right? So there's this energy of really needing to sort of, there's like levels to this, earth signs. And where is your stability built? Where is your foundation? Where is your grounding? Is it on the surface? Is it below the surface? Is it in that molten part? Or is it at the core of the earth? Right? And also, I think they say that the flow of the magma around the core of the earth is what gives rise to the electromagnetic field. Maybe. I mean, we get one struck tree and then we get two trees here, with the hangman right under that moon card. And then the Ace of Wands with the Ten of Swords, and both of those are a 1. So this is about new beginnings. Earth signs, I feel like y'all are kind of sort of carrying the weight of allowing one thing to fall to give rise to the other. About realizing what isn't working in your life and really sort of allowing those things to fall. My grandmother is a Taurus, and there's been this vacant house next door to her forever, and it's been causing her some worries and some headaches. And besides it being like an eyesore, it's just like it wasn't really maintained that well either. And the building finally came down. And now there is an uncertainty there if someone else decides to build a house and then move in, right? Then, like, who's going to be the new neighbor? And that's what she said. She said, like, I hope I get a good neighbor because I really want to be a good neighbor and I want good neighbors. But with the Ten of Swords, with endings, as humans, we're not really guaranteed on what the new beginning will be. We don't really always know. And so sometimes, even though we're in a situation that there isn't a lot of clarity or it's not the best, we allow ourselves to stay in it because sometimes the known misery is better than the unknown. But Earth signs, it's about letting things shift. And if you don't continue to flow, then another platelet will come and crash into you, and that might cause an earthquake or something else like that. So maybe Earth signs, maybe y'all did get a little shook. Maybe y'all got shook, and then it led y'all to sort of restructure mentally. And because you've done this mental restructuring, and because you've, willingly or not, gone through this tower moment, now there are these hidden things within you that you can give yourself permission to sort of pick up, right? And maybe, like, you didn't think you had the time. I mean, that's all mental. These are all excuses. Or maybe you had valid excuses and invalid excuses that kept you from doing what it is that you really want. But, like, now it's like, I mean, the tower is gone. And if I'm going to have to rebuild anyway, then why not build something that I actually want and see what the world can really offer me when I'm not running the same basic old program? So that's what I got for everybody. I'm going to plop these into the description box really quick, and I will catch y'all next time I see y'all. I was going to do a whole bunch of Virgo stuff, but honestly, the energy right now feels like a whole bunch of stuff that we should already know. So, Ace of Cups under that Ace of Wands. And then the Two of Swords with the Three of Wands. Ace of Cups under that Ace of Wands. So maybe y'all Earth signs, y'all may be the only ones that see that Ace of Cups down there. Unless somebody else watches to the end. But, like, know that it all has a purpose and know that it all has a reason. And, I mean, we all play our part right now. And some of us will be shaken a little bit more than others. Because, I mean, that's because we kind of sort of help show the way. The Empress didn't show up. Huh. Or Death. The Empress and Death. I missed both of those. Temperance didn't come out. The Hangman didn't come out. Alright, y'all. I'll catch y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.